he's got one tank loaded up into this medevac. He is moving across the bottom of the map right now. We'll see exactly where he tries to go with this medevac and tank. But at the base of DoggPound, it looks like he is getting out his first his first Colossi rather, but does not have the Thermal Lance upgrade going just yet, and he's actually getting a Twilight Council now, so we'll see if he tries to go for Blink or possibly Zealot Legs, which Zealot Legs would be a great option, especially for how many infantry units gearv0sh has right now, and he is able to take out the one lonely scouting Protoss Zealot, but there are not enough infantry units here to deal with the amount of force that DoggPound has right now, and he actually has his first Colossi out as well, which this could be very, very bad. But gearv0sh moving his siege tank into place, taking out one probe immediately, 2 probes now. Actually, it's got 3 kills, so it must have taken out 3 probes. But anyways, it looks like that tank is going to put some serious damage on DoggPound's tech tree, although with 1 Colossi here, he is going to be able to easily move up onto this cliff because that Colossus is a cliff walker, and he's just basically going to run over here and take down this tank without any problems here. He needs to unsiege his tank and get it into that medevac, but he is not unsieging fast enough. That tank goes down. So it looks like that tank was able to kill 3 workers, but did a little bit of damage to the Twilight Council, not even taking down all of the shields though, and it looks like he is going to try to move his Marines and Marauders around the back door here and possibly try to take out the destructible rocks here. Also checking to see if there's anything at the high yield base, which of course there is nothing back there as of yet, but it looks like he is going to try to break down a back door. Meanwhile, DoggPound moving out his army here, which this is a very formidable Protoss army, although he is not going to try to attack just yet. It looks like he is just going to try to secure his expansion. And back at the base of gearv0sh here, he has another siege tank loaded up, and he has actually built a command center lifting off to the high ground expansion. So both players expanding in pretty similar timings, although it looks like gearv0sh is going to have his up a little bit earlier than DoggPound. But unfortunately, this large Protoss army is moving across the map right now, and on the income tab we can see that once again gearv0sh is behind in the economy, and it actually looks like he is also behind in the amount of money invested in the army, which as you can see, almost 1,000 resources and minerals and about 150 in gas invested more for the Protoss player. So this is a much bigger army for the Protoss player, and his army is not split, whereas this Terran player's army is actually split. He has half of his army up in the base of DoggPound, although there are only 2 stalkers defending his base right now, so we may see a base race situation here very soon, and the Colossi moving up on the high ground, forcing gearv0sh to lift off this command center. Although it doesn't look like he's moving in his Marines and Marauders, this could cost him dearly if he does end up in a base race situation. We'll have to see if he's able to actually defend this without attacking, but these siege tanks moving up here doing some damage, and it looks like those Colossi for some reason are focus firing down the starport rather than trying to go for those tanks. So those tanks actually managing to focus fire down 1 Colossi pretty quickly, and the other one has taken a significant amount of damage, but gearv0sh has finally moved in to the mineral line of DoggPound, forcing him to take all of his miners off of his gas, and 3 stalkers moving down here, but these Marines and Marauders should be able to take on just the 3 stalkers, although unfortunately gearv0sh does not yet have Stimpact research. So if he is able to focus fire down some of these pylons possibly, and maybe supply block his opponent, he could actually be in pretty good shape if he can keep him from building enough units to defend against this. Although it looks like he is going to try to focus down the Nexus now, in a decent amount of Marauders and Marines here, so he may actually be able to get this before DoggPound can move into position to defend this, although there are some Immortals. Oh, he's going to try to snipe this, barely getting that snipe off, and he is running away with his Marines and Marauders, although unfortunately 1 Marine and 1 Marauder left on the ground and going to get focus fired down, and that last Marine turning around trying to be a hero, but he gets cut down very quickly. And meanwhile the remaining army of DoggPound has moved out against gearv0sh, and unfortunately there are not a whole lot of units in his base, and it looks like these units are going to go down very quickly to that large Protoss army, despite the fact that gearv0sh was able to snipe that Nexus for DoggPound. It looks like he is actually going to end up losing this battle unless this army can do significant amount of damage, getting 2 great EMPs off, but unfortunately it's just a little bit too little too late, bringing back a handful more of units. But once again, I just don't think that's going to be enough, even with the great EMPs that he got off on this army. There is just too much firepower from the Protoss player right now. He manages to take down that Colossi, but there are still 3 sentries, 3 stalkers, 3 immortals, or I'm sorry, 3 zealots, and 1 immortal. So a lot of firepower from the Protoss player in his base still. And it looks like, as you can see in the upper left here, there is another Nexus going down for DoggPound. So he is going to have his natural up and running. His main is not yet being rebuilt, but gearv0sh is going to GG. So the series is now tied up at 1-1 for this matchup between gearv0sh and DoggPound. So we're going to move on to an ace match yet again. And if DoggPound can actually manage to pull out a win in the ace match, then it looks like the VIO Gaming Network will actually be very, very close to possibly pulling out a win. Winning this series 2-1 would put VIO Gaming at only a 3-2 disadvantage. And it looks like gearv0sh actually still is in this game despite the fact that he did GG. I gotta imagine that he's just goofing off at this point, because obviously he has no miners other than the couple that he's got left in gas. And he said, I thought I had you when I took your Nexus, which indeed that was a very good move for him, but unfortunately he did not have enough back at his base, and definitely his infantry was out of his base and out of place, so he was not able to effectively defend. But anyways, this game going to DoggPound. These guys are just having a friendly chat here, so we're going to move on to the ace match for this matchup. GG.